You're still watching Xpressive. We're live on GHOne TV. Well, they say the entertainment industry is vast and it's actually a reflection of the society we live in. And so if that's the case, then I'm sure we already know the kind of society we live in. I guess it's time we pay attention to the $1 million creative art sector that we have neglected in a bit. Today on Talking Point, we talk about what you have been talking about in the creative art industry, just in order to better the industry. And today I have two giants, people who have the industry at heart, people who have been doing this for close or more than 2 decades. You just saw one person in that video. That's before, now it's after. He's a musician, he's a radio show host, an entrepreneur, producer, jack of all trades. And I have another, he's also a musician, he's a TV host as well, like jack of all trades, I call them. Royalties and Okyeame Quophi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jackie.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you. It feels good to be here.
I know.
Feels good. Feels good. Okay, since you guys moved, this is my first time.
This is your first time.
I love it.
Nice.
I love it.
I'm glad. Okyeame.
Same old smile.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw the
What's
video.
The feeling like?
With me standing in the water, but
in the water.
You know, but not wet. Like? Well, lots of, walking down memory lane, watching the video. I'm thinking when it was being produced at Dansoman, Campsite, and at King's house. Yeah, not the music. I'm talking about the video. Oh. The music was produced at Campsite. Okay. Like you said, around Snits, Flats. Zap Malik did the magic. And I'm sitting here, I'm watching this, and I'm like, what the hell were we thinking? The carpenter space? Pardon me for that, please. I'll not do it again.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, but it was good for the moment. This was the #1 video back then. You understand? This is 99. Yeah. 1999. How old were you back then? Okay, it's okay. It's allowed.
I can't remember.
You can keep quiet. It's allowed. It's fine.
Royalties, are you going to give us some patois today?
I don't know. But I'll tell you what, one of the most hurtful things that have happened to me was the fact that I missed the opportunity to feature on that song.
Really? You were
that verse was supposed to be my verse.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
The dancehall part.
Yeah, the dancehall part. Yeah, I was supposed to do that. But what happened? I think I was supposed to meet you guys in Accra.
Yeah, you went to Takrady.
And I couldn't.
And sold his fame away.
It would have been epic, actually.
But we had done one.
We had done one already.
We had done one already, which was also massive. Right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Massive song.
Okay.
I remember that song. Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah,
so you guys remember your part?
I think
that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
that's a long time ago.
And that was before this one. So we're talking 98. So 22 years.
97.
Remember your part?
97.
We recorded that in 97.
Do you remember your part? Can you give us a line from me?
Obiaba you always watch remini awu penyina. Odo pasu bampa ho feje samia. Emadu doku ruta be ya won kwa odia. Sika sema ya kra. Ya be kodo ni odo bom dia ni efese. Emamudu masa wati wabra. I can't remember all but.
You can't remember.
You can't remember. Listen,
you've done well.
One of the hardest things to remember is rap.
Yeah.
Singing is easy.
You've done well.
Rap, 5 albums, rap. Not even Reggie Rockstone. Yeah. Reggie Rockstone forgets his lyrics. Just like
everyone does.
Oh, I think
everyone does.
It's normal.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very normal. Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for coming once again. We'll move straight into business, the reason why we're here. And a lot of times when we say the creative arts, the first thing that comes to mind is music and probably acting. But creative art entails a lot. It entails poems, it entails heritage, it entails writings, it entails creative process, cameraman, and a lot of things come together to make the creative arts industry. But it looks like we always come, here, not literally this show, but we always come together to discuss how we can improve the creative arts industry. But once we get to a position where we can make decisions, we tend to forget what exactly our problem was or what we were supposed to do. So we have something small, we have a little feature we put together before we even start the discussion. So take a look at this. When we come back, I'll take their views on the topic. So just enjoy this.
Global statistics of the creative arts and culture shows that it contributed substantially to the perspective economies and implementation of policies effectively and efficiently. Despite the potential of the creative arts in contributing to national development, Ghana does not seem to be taking a cue to develop the sector. The underdevelopment of the creative arts is fueled by government actions and inactions and politicization of creative arts education. It was, however, revealing to finally find industry players elected into government positions with the hope of having a voice for the industry. The likes of Alhassan Suhini, Fritz Bafo, Kojo Oponkroma, Jifa Gumashi, Stan Dogbe, Sukrit Safo, Marco Krikumante have had political appointment. But how did their involvement in partisan politics impact on the industry?
Not so much question. I'm say Bible you guna so na kahwa wonte. Ono kwaje guni botom oni na fire tun. Oni na fire tun. Rasa kokon so anya fo. Ono kwaje guni botom oni na fire tun. Yeti mi hwa no so anya konda.
Similarly, we have other players currently seeking to be given the nod. The likes of John Dumelo.
What was your relationship with John Mahama like?
I mean, my relationship with him now is perfect. Just as he's friends with other people. Yeah.
You vibe?
Yeah, we vibe.
You talk?
Yeah, we talk.
Does he pick John Dumelo's
He
thoughts?
picks the thoughts of everybody.
Did he pick your thoughts on the movie industry in preparing his manifesto, for instance?
We have a creative arts board and a tourism board as well, which a little committee, a private committee, which we've met once or twice to be able to put together the things that will be able to help the creative and the tourism industry.
Let's join our panel on Xpressive for an in-depth discussion on the topic.
Well, that was our short feature on that, and credit to City TV, Ghana Web, and the likes for that. We got some tapes from them as well. But our guests are here, Rutai and Okyeame Quophi. So, having watched the video, I'll go straight to your Okyeame. I mean, is there any contribution? I mean, does creative arts contribute to the GDP of Ghana's economy? Maybe actually it doesn't contribute. Maybe
it does. I mean, it's looking at the people that are employed in this sector is vast. It's huge. People are making money here. People are spending money here. People are keeping their families and everybody. Lots and lots of people are here. So definitely we are contributing. The income generated and everything goes back into the economy, and the economy in turn smiles at the end of the day. But unfortunately, I'm yet to see any political party's budget actually look at creative arts in its entirety, not just, say a few words to wow people for them to just go, oh, yeah, we've been mentioned. And when it comes to the performance, then it becomes something. Like recently, there was this fuss about, a music school that was going to be built. And then, all the pickaxes and whatever, tape cutting, sword cutting, whatever they call that thing, will be performed. But then where's the action? You understand? So, seriously, we contribute, but I think that looking at what support we get is on the low.
it's a minute.
On the low. Like that.
Rutai, do you agree that
I think
we contribute to the GDP of Ghana's economy?
Course,
and where
of course.
exactly?
Of course, let me give you some
from?
examples. Take a trip up the Ebri hills or the mountains when you get to the craft village, you see the number of people employed by arts. That tells you how, and you see the number of foreigners, you know, who come to that spot, you know, to spend money, you know, brought from wherever. I mean, foreign exchange, you know, converted into cedis, meaning that people bring dollars to buy cedis, you know, to buy these products. Go down to the arts center, you know, to the craft shops, and see the number of foreigners who come around on a daily basis, shopping with their hard-earned dollar and euro from wherever they come from. So the contribution is big. The only thing is that I think that when we talk about creative, in fact, I dislike the expression creative arts, because which art is not creative anyway? When we talk about the art, we skew it down to just music, film, and that's about it. But it's broader than that. If you see the contribution being made by people into sculpting, painting, kente weaving, and all of those, that should tell you how much money comes into this economy, you know, on the wings of artists.
Right. So knowing this, knowing that our sector actually contributes something to the economy, you know, has certain percentage that goes to the GDP of the growth of the economy, why haven't successive government paid attention to our sector, especially when we actually have people coming from this sector going into, you know, partisan politics?
I think what we fail to do is that we have failed to quantify how much money, like with evidence, how much money this sector is contributing to the economy. Who checks how much money is raised from the Ebri craft village? Who records how much money comes from Bonre Kente village? Who checks how much money comes from those Kente weavers in the Volta region? Who checks how much money, you know, is generated from the artisans in the northern region? And these are the hotspots when it comes to creative arts, if you'd want to call it so. You know, so I think what we have failed to do is documenting, so we can say
know exactly how much
we are contributing. If we're able, data collection, if we're able to do, and you see the data is available. Check with Ghana Statistical Service.
I was just about to ask, is the data available?
The data is available. I'm telling you. If you check, and there's so many.
Some data is available, because I don't think it's.
I'm telling you something. See.
Yeah.
I have had a stint with Ghana Statistical Service, and I'm telling you that organization produces so much data that all these things that we're talking about, it will surprise you that if you go in there and request for these data, you find they will produce that for you.
Where exactly? Because you
Ghana
know that
Statistical Service.
We're putting together a feature and we needed data. We actually
you didn't look the right places.
So
I'm telling you, Ghana Statistical Service produces all of these.
Which one?
They have every sector, music, film.
With music, I can't be too sure, but I can tell you that when it comes to these businesses, they have the Integrated Business Establishments survey that they conduct like periodically, and that alone can give us this data that we're looking for. They do the Ghana Living Standard survey, you know, and that can give us this data.
So currently, the contribution of music, we don't know.
We don't know, but I think we can find some data available. The thing is that, unfortunately, majority of us in this sector are savvy people who are not that literate.
Okay.
So we don't see the value of documenting our activities and recording, you know, our income. You see, sometimes people fail to pay taxes. They evade taxes and things like that, and they think that, oh, you're being smart. But what you're doing is that, to a large extent, you are impeding the process Okay, the process of collecting data to make
what you're saying
for the
is
industry
why,
in which you work.
What Chris is saying is why Rutai, let me say, he's my brother, so I call him by his, that's why I'm saying that we have some sort of data, because some are trying to evade taxes and all that. They will not even keep the right books for anybody to access and say that, this you cannot miss. This is the recording of every activity which is coming here, that in this particular year I've been able to move, if it's sculpture or whatever it is, X amount, you understand?
Because you're scared of being taxed.
There is some sort of data collection. I think this thing has to do with the system in which we are. Even if they are going to collect the data and look at the numbers and they compare it to other sectors, the cocoa, the gold, it's still going to be minute to them. So seriously, it is about time that, we look at everything holistically in isolation.
Okay.
And see that, the potential of this industry is this huge. This is what is coming to them at this moment, and this is how much they are being able to give, and therefore looking at the possibilities and the way forward. This is what probably we can do to actually amplify the sector and get more from there. And that is not happening. And seriously,
why is it not happening? Is it from us? Is it our fault as creative people, or is it their fault for not recognizing
this is what informed the formation of all these different associations and everything, because there's power in voices, when we come together and we fight for a particular cause. And then you get leadership who eventually get political appointments, and when they get there, they are only part of the process. They don't take the final decision. So we are here today.
So you think they have failed us, as in creatives who have gone into politics, they went there as creatives, of course, now they're politicians. Have they failed us as creatives?
I wouldn't say they failed us.
No.
I think when you get in there is when you realize that
it's not as easy as
it
that's
looks.
What I'm saying. You become part of the process. You're not the final say.
Exactly.
They won't get anywhere.
No, but it is good that we are getting there, because we are looking at a time where we're going to have majority, and therefore what we think will matter. Are you understand what I'm saying?
I'm getting it.
So seriously, there are only a few people, and the realization didn't come till late. How many people are in government right now, so to speak, that are also creative arts people who are versed in this industry? Marco Krekumante and Xpressive, we can mention them. Who again is there?
We've had Mr. Fritz Bafo.
I'm talking now.
You see, but the thing is,
talking now.
You see, the thing is, it's one thing being, the arts and entertainment industry player, and one thing being an economist.
Right.
You see, this sector hasn't attracted enough economists who would take the business side of it and work that end for people in this industry. It's been just individuals trying to do their own thing. So there's not really an industry, because it's not really properly structured.
So why haven't we decided that let's do this? Because we've been talking about this for quite some time now.
Because we haven't, or most of us haven't really come to appreciate the fact that it will take some processes, say packaging, positioning yourself well and things like that, to attract the right people who come into this industry and say, this has got some potential. This is where, after my postgraduate degree in marketing or wherever, I am going to work here in this industry. We, those in that sector, haven't really packaged ourselves well to bring in, to attract in such professionals. So it's been just booga booga.
So you're saying it's not just about we having our people there, because we've had Jifa Gomashi who went all the way to deputy minister.
They would
we have Kojo Ponkruma, now information minister.
7 in what capacity? Kojo is there 7, yeah. Okay.
Minister of Information. And is busy.
Deputy Minister for Creative Arts, Tourism and Culture as well.
Okay.
And that's what we're talking about. And now Okweku is also in charge of the Creative Arts Authority.
Arts, yes. That's why I'm saying that. Listen, they put some of us there to be part of the process.
It's just to give you...
So our voices are not heard.
Seriously, if the voices were heard and what we were looking for is being given, we wouldn't be having this conversation, would we?
Okay, but Ruta, you also mentioned that, you know, we need economists and all of it, and we as a people, or we as creatives or musicians or actors or whatever, need to understand what exactly we're getting into, that, you know, there are things you can do to, you know, get more, or things to do it collectively. Are you saying that we are okay with, oh, I'm doing my music, I'm getting my little money, it's okay for me, and so let me keep it?
And that's the thinking for most of us.
So that's our problem.
The thing. We're not thinking,
let's do it collectively.
We're not thinking, you know, we're not thinking broadly. We're just seeing it as, okay, I'm feeding my family, you know, I've been able to put up some 2-bedroom house
I'm
myself.
Okay with
and,
it.
You know, that's okay.
Meanwhile, we could have gotten more.
But if we think holistically, if we're thinking industry wide, then you would see the need to keep, like, to do proper bookkeeping, you know, pay your taxes and stuff like that. And if everyone within that sector is doing so, then we can generate proper data that we could make, you know, cases for ourselves. We can say, okay, we need X amount of money this time from the next budget because we intend to
this
exactly this is now we cannot estimate how much we can give back in return if we're giving X amount, because where is your data to back your request and stuff like that?
Creative art,
you know,
is high
and
risk.
that is how it has been.
When you look at the business structure and, you know, the kind of things that you want to put your money in with guarantees that you're going to make X profit, then you might want to miss creative arts because it's high risk. Yeah, you are not too sure whether that album is going to sell. You are not too sure whether that carving is ever going to, exactly, that if you put it in the theater, people are going to show up to watch it. So it's a business that most people in important places will not even look at because they don't, everybody will put their money where they're guaranteed that they are going to make profit. That's why I'm calling this high. It is high.
Are you sure?
There are albums that you have done, you've spent money on, that you end up selling about 10 copies or 20 copies. Ask Funny Face, he'll tell you.
But
it's all because
but you also get into a business not knowing the future of the business, not knowing whether or not.
We get into it for the love of it in the first place.
Right.
And that is how come people will always probably underestimate the business side of what we're doing. And, you know, culturally, and how this whole business is laid out is much more individual dependent. You understand? It is these associations that front most of the issues. Okay, seriously, let's look at this situation. What are we looking for from the government? What are they supposed to do for us? Give us money to go produce a film, or give us money to do what? It's the individual, your passion and your drive, what it is that you're looking for. But if we are to cry to the government for anything, it's about incentives. It's about putting the proper structure there, that okay, our taxes will be low because our risk is high, that our this will be this and that is that, you understand, so that we can flourish in whatever we are doing. As we're speaking, even collectively, do we know what problems we are facing, and are we projecting the problems? You
I was
understand?
just about to ask, is it that we don't know exactly what the problem is?
I'll tell you what, when you see the question he popped, he said, what is it that we're looking for from government? Exactly. When you ask people in this sector what they want from, a lot of people cannot tell you exactly what they want.
Yeah.
They just want help.
Oh, they should give us money.
They say,
the government should help us.
See, why should I give you money? For what? And what are you bringing back when I give you that money?
And that's where the economists and all these people will have to come in and identify and give straight pointers and look at the potential of the industry and what it can bring, rather than just give me money and let me go and share to the people that make all the dolls around the shorelines and all. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
So what would you ask for if, you know, the opportunity is here, the Okyeame Quophi, we're supposed to give you something? What do we do for you?
First off, we need to get the data. Look at how vibrant the industry is. Look at the incomes of the industry. how it is contributing to the GDP, which goes to your first question, and look at the potency of the industry holistically and how to improve it. Okay?
So
and what will be needed to improve it. And what if what we need is provided, what is going to be the return? Then we are in business, because business is about give and take. And take double for your giving. So if we cannot give all of this to the people, and this industry needs investors. It doesn't need government grants and all of that. What you see, maximum what the government can do for us is to create that conducive environment for us to function. Okay, just like which president allowed for musical instruments to come in without being without paying duty and all? There was
that policy in place, yes, before.
You see,
I can't remember
stuff like that makes us grow. You understand? I remember I was coming from the States and I was bringing studio equipment, and then the customs, they were all over me. Okay, like, how much did you buy this? How much did you buy that? And pen and paper ready to write the duty and all that. So I had to tell them that, listen, these are not new equipment. It's new in this country, but these are equipment I've been using in the States for a while. It's just that I'm coming to set up the studio here. Immediately I said that. They said, oh, okay, if it's used, then it's okay. You can go. That, you see, the next thing that we need to make, some, whatever, kente weaving easier, rather than going the normal cultural way, and there's a machine that is coming in that they can allow us to just take this machine out of the port without having to clear your bank account and become bankrupt before you get the machine, which is going to affect the price of whatever you're going to produce anyway. Then you're creating for people to function properly, and therefore the industry will grow. To the extent that, okay, when we serve the locality, then we can look at serving other provinces out of our locality. Then we are talking international and everything. As it is, do we have all these things?
Question.
A big question.
Rutai, I mean, let me ask you, if you're given the opportunity to serve in government, of course, with your creative arts orientation and all of it, what would you do to rescue us? What would you do differently? What would be your first, point of call?
I think it will be capacity building, giving knowledge to people in the industry. Okay, so we can understand the importance of producing database that we can make a case with. That's the first thing that we need to do. Okay, that would mean proper bookkeeping, proper documentation of all the things that we do once it has to do with business, and even marketing our products and stuff like that. Until recently, a lot of people thought once you have a movie produced, you can just put some posters around and start, put them in the shop, screen anywhere, put them in the shops, and that's it. Until a few of our sisters, I think, they started talking to Netflix, and we have our stuff on Netflix and things like that. And that's gonna come with some good revenue. And so anybody that has money and is interested in investing in this, can at least get some reason, to put their money into that from these bases. Okay. So we need to start looking at these things, and it would take people getting educated, okay, so they can understand these things. See, a few years back, people can take some camcorders and in a day or two produce a movie, okay, and put it out there in the shops, and people were buying it. And when this whole thing migrated from physical product into digital stuff that you can't really pick with your hands, but you can view on your devices and stuff like that, all of these shops collapsed. And it's because these people in that industry do not understand that when this thing migrated to to these digital platforms, they also had to convert their shops into digital shops. So all the music shops in Kantamanto and Seko all collapsed. some converted into phone shops and things like that because the owners were not. In fact, a lot of them phone shops because the owners of these businesses did not have the education, you know, to understand where we're heading, you know, and all of these things. So for me, capacity building first. We need to start from the basis.
Wow. Capacity building
basics.
and data collection. That's what they're saying. It's been good having you. I think this discussion can't end now. It can't end today. It will continue. We'll still talk about it. I'm sure if we had structures in place, you'd still be enjoying money by now. Are you still enjoying money from
no, they play the music for free.
I've never been paid in royalty. Never, ever.
Never?
Never? How about you?
Well, you've had something
That
before.
makes two of us.
Never.
No, not from anywhere.
My brother,
Wow.
you would have been a billionaire from writing songs.
I registered my works with Cosca. Now it's musical. Where do I take my money from?
Wow. That's story for another day. But like I said, if we have structures in place, they'll still be enjoying. It's important that we have structures in place. This discussion will not end today. We'll definitely continue. We'll bring you more ideas. We'll bring you more thoughts and more opinions as well. This is Xpressive and we've been live on GHOne TV. I had Okyeame Quophi as my guest and Rutai as my guest as well. Ken is up next for Xpressive. Don't go anywhere. Do enjoy.